Hey guys, in today's video we're going to change things up a little bit, and instead of doing metal work on the exterior of the car, such as the grille, just trim around the windows, we're going to jump inside and tackle some of the stuff that's important in there as well, such as these door cards. When we brought this car back to the shop and I was emptying the stuff out from inside the car, these were stacked up really nicely up on the back deck. And we have all 4 cards. The only problem is they're shot. And they really smell bad. So we're going to do the right thing and throw these in the garbage because, first of all, they're way too short. They're for a 4-door, and now we have a modified 2-door. See all the black mold on the inside? I don't want to put that back in this thing. Say we spliced on a piece, it wouldn't work out too well. So I went ahead, that's for the back, and developed brand new templates based on that door card and added 5.5 inches, which is what we added to the 4-door door. See that? That line there? That's extra. That's what we did over here. These other marks indicate clip locations, armrest location, and the handle you use to open the door. What I have here is a fresh sheet of masonite, 1/8 thick on the heavy side, or 3 millimeters for those who follow the metric system, like I should be here in Canada. I'm going to lay these panels out, 2 front doors, 2 rear seating area panels, in such a way that I maximize the surface area on this sheet. We'll do something like this. Yeah, that's going to look good. Yep, good. Okay, so let's mark this up. And there we go. So I'm going to use the skill saw, or circular saw, and just do all the straight cuts. Get all the straight cuts done. Then we'll go through with the jigsaw and do all the corners. Okay, so now we go ahead and use a jigsaw and finish this up. Just tighten the end of the sheet up a little bit. Nice. It's a little bit ragged with this from the saw, so just run the plane over it. You can sand it, but it's a little bit faster. cleaning it up to the Sharpie line. Hey, we might trim it up yet when we go to fit it in the car. The templates are a little bit oversized. Done. Now, when it comes to the interior door panel design, I want something that looks factory. I've got all this trim off the four, I should say, door cards. Peeled it all off, and it's like, look how intricately dangerous this stuff is. Like, imagine people touching this today. Like, they would pierce themselves every time they roll it over. These are extremely sharp spikes sticking through that they push through the upholstery and then bent over on the back. Like, there's so much work that was put into just building a door panel back in the day. So we have our armrest location that matches up with what's on the doors right now. That hasn't moved, so we're going to keep it there. We have a door handle. It used to sit this way. I'm really tempted to relocate it, realign it that way. Now to sort through what we have here, this used to sit up front. Now when I had this panel inside the car, I marked the dash location, the bottom of the dash. The dash is going to go in accent color, and I want to break that into, or pull that into the door panel. So I'm thinking something along the lines of this. So this one sits a little bit lower than that one did. Their door panel was split with 3 different fabrics, a very smooth one at the bottom, a texture one through the center, and then a really interestingly molded one at the top. I guess they're all molded at some point, but this one has its own little characteristics, the white part has. Power window switches are not going to be in the door panel, they're going to be on the center console. And when it comes to this door panel, I'm going to have it broken up into 2 different areas of color. And I was just looking at trim lengths. Here we go. The dash has a chrome piece that extends and then stops at the door. I'm going to continue that into the door itself. And then I'm going to include one more piece. We're going to have to rework this at the top here, just like that. So whatever is in between, stay put, whatever's in between these chrome pieces is going to be one color, and then we're going to have a separate color down below. Similar to what they did, but just one extra step. Yeah. See, there's a split. There's a metal panel up in here. I just left that long. So we're going to break that, and wherever we're going to have to get the dash in, get the door panels up and extend that line from the dash into the door. So there's going to be a narrow sort of band through here that extends into the back seating area, and now we can do something like that. The kick panel also has to be split, so we can use one of these shorter pieces, came off one of the doors, I think of the back one, and just extend that forward under the dash, splitting the 2 areas where the kick panel is. So we have enough trim to do all this. This one actually has a point, but see, it's too short. So it might extend into the back seating area. Wow, that's where it came from. Wow, look at that. Is this the same? That's shorter. See, there's different lengths. So we could probably do this. Put a shorter one here, extend it a little bit forward. Stay. This longer one, move it towards the back. And what is this, the same length? No, that's a shorter one. That's can be for the driver's door. I'm not sure what we can do with that. This is for the driver's door on the driver's side. And yeah, that's it. So we have enough. And these are going to be for the front kick panels. This is going to be for the driver's door. We're looking at the passenger door right now. So we do have enough trim to do with what I want to do. These are extra pieces that we can place somewhere else. I don't know, they have a nice point on them. It's a shame to throw them out. If we can incorporate them, we will. Trying to reuse as many of the original bits and pieces. You see, everything has been organized with emblems, handles, many handles, more channels of some sort. I'm not sure if this came from this car or not, but basically everything that was sorted through was itemized and boxed. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. I'm not going to throw this out. It's going to be put away because I might need to refer to it in terms of how they stapled all these joints together and then they covered that up with the molding. So we might do something similar. I'm not an upholsterer. I don't stitch, and that might be a really good way of getting around that. And rather than having two different, you see two different patterns here, a smooth one and a textured one, we're going to have one main one that comes down, the same texture all the way up. In behind we have little allowances for clips, and that's what all these are down through here. Just allowances, so we have to punch through the masonite to allow for those clips, little spring clips, little twisted spring clips. So in a few seconds, we're going to be into building door panels versus just laying things out. But this is something we have to do. It's an important step, something we can think about before we get to the next stage. Hey guys, welcome to Nick's Corner. It's the only corner of the shop that's clean right now, allowing me to get these door panels kind of wrapped up. I say kind of because there's still a little bit of work yet. We have to fit them, test fit them inside the car, get some additional pieces of chrome done on them. But right now what I'm working on is installing these little clips for the window fuzzies. Now, I want to give a shout out to Andy Birnbaum's Auto Parts for helping us out with all the rubber and fuzzies and little bits and pieces that we needed to finish this Chrysler off. These are a little bit tricky to install. Reason why? I'm not used to using these clips. I'll show you. I'm used to the Ford ones. These here have little spikes on them, if you will, that you push those fuzzies down over and you bend them down. If anybody has a trick to installing them, you know, really appreciate the help. But right now I've been struggling with them. I've got 3 done. Gotten a little bit better as I've been going, usually the case. You see it came in a roll. And it's going to straighten them out so that they sit naturally on the panel and they don't try to lift themselves off. The ones I used to get from, well, the Ford ones, they actually have a little clamp, little serrations, little teeth on it, and they really grip well, but they've been back ordered for the longest time, and well, Andy helped us out with these, so we're going to give them a try. All the fuzzies, all the rubbers, working out really well. We were able to use original door rubbers on this Chrysler. With all the work we did on the doors and modifying them, it came out really well. Now, this is a little bit longer than I started, or than I need. The ends have to be taken and rolled down for a nice finished edge, because when I've cut them off the side cutters, they're really sharp and you don't want to catch that on the way in or out of the door. First thing I'm going to do is stab them onto those little teeth. Oh, upside down, Nick. This way. They do have a right way up and a wrong way up, or in the sense that they will elevate my molding too high or too low if I don't install them just the right way. You don't want a jog. Okay, let's bring you guys in and show you how I'm about to stab them on. Actually, let me start the first one. Well, it's great to have you guys in my corner here. Now you see this one here stabbed on just nice. Come on. I have to adjust these little points ever so slightly. If you bend them back and forth too many times, they will break off. So you want to kind of get it right the first time. I can move that band over. Bingo. Okay, and move this band over. Come on, it's always the last one. There we go. Okay, so I've got all 4 in. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to make sure you guys didn't doze off again. I'm going to take and cut back a little bit and take that end and roll it down. Cut this end to length, which is about there. Like that. And we'll do one end at a time. Just gonna make sure I don't shortchange ourselves. So I'm going to cut back. I don't do upholstery on a regular basis. So every time I get into it, I gotta kind of relearn myself, which is no problem. Like that. It does have metal, so I guess that, you know, I'm part ways into my comfort zone. And we don't want the glass to scratch that. See that? So we have a nice radius top corner. Get rid of those. Line that up. Cut this one here. Cut that back a bit. And roll it down. You see, it starts to buckle a little bit. Oops, you're down here. So you see, it starts to buckle a little bit. So I'm going to bring that in like so. And when I give that a squeeze, those buckles a squeeze, you see, it wants to straighten back out. As long as they don't come in contact with the glass, we're good. Now these should extend a little bit past the ends of the windows. See that? How that corner all comes in? Nice and clean. So now we can get these on for the final time. I just need to line up my little right there's. Nice, nice. And take the screwdriver. I'm sure they have pliers for this. I don't have them. Come on. You don't want to mess up the fuzzy either, so you gotta be really careful. I don't know if that's the official term for these. I'm sure somebody will correct me. This is what takes the time. The stuff nobody sees at car shows or on YouTube. So that's looking good. I'll tell you what that little jingle is. In the background there in a second. Just want to get this panel done and flipped over. When I'm doing fuzzies, I'm doing all the fuzzies. Oh no. How did that happen? It moved a little bit. Nope. I had to drill square holes with a square drill bit so that these fuzzies would snap into them. No, actually, you can drill a round hole the same diameter as the root of that clip. It's bumping right into that. And if I jam it down, it will bend those legs over, causing more problems. I need to move over like a 32nd of an inch. Like that. Okay. One more to bend over, but Oops, no, did I break it? Oh, that's the problem right there. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the fuzzies in place, but this is not being squeezed down properly. The little spike snapped off on this side of the clip, so I will have to pop that clip out, get another one in. I'm not going to worry about that right now because I want to turn my attention to this side. We've got, oh, now before I get into this, I'm going to show you guys something. Now, you remember that steering wheel we were doing? The clears had a really good opportunity to cure, to dry, and it's looking really, really sweet with the BURR Walnut style inspired steering wheel ring. So there we go. Not sure if you guys can see the detail in that. That was done with acetylene. We can get this installed in the car. Not at the moment, I'll put off to the side because I need to finalize the center for this horn button. Now what they used to have, or what originally came with the car, was this, but as you can see, we've shrunken the wheel down to 15-inch diameter from 18. And that horn ring will no longer work. It sticks up way too high, about an inch past. This is one of the damaged rings or broken rings we found in the trunk. And I've cut the diameter of the arms down, the length of the arms down, to fit within the diameter of our new steering wheel. We can't obviously leave it like that. We need to add these cool buttons that came off the spare parts, old speedometer, whatever else came in the trunk in the car, to the ends to kind of give it a reason for being there. We'll have one here and one here, and this ties in directly the appearance of the existing speedometer. Now, because this is pot metal, and that's pot metal, you can't really weld it. Soldering it, well, really out of the question because I heat that up so much, that's going to damage that nice little finish inside. I wanted to keep it a survivor. If I repaint this one, I'll have to repaint all the rest. I don't want to do that. So I'll gently clean that, gold color inside, wire steel wool the outside, clean it up. The center part is going to be painted silver with an accent of chrome on the end, and you'll still retain that gold color in the middle. Now to attach the two, I can't really solder them or weld them because I will damage that in there, and I didn't want to do that. So come up with some sleeves that will slide over the arms. Bent these up earlier, like that, and that, and make sure they're pressed on really well. And these fit in only one way, like that. And like that. And this one fits in a little tighter than this one, but that's okay. I'll weld this up because this is stainless steel. So these sleeves that go on are stainless. I'll weld that, grind that, smooth it out, make it all look pretty, both ends. Once this is all done, we just snap our buttons on, like that, and like that. Mount it to the steering wheel, and then take our horn ring and stick it on. See that gold button? So we have all three matching. So this car, at the end of the day, will look like a factory concept car. Okay, so I have these pieces of trim from the original door panels. And because we've modified everything, they also have to be modified. Now the way you do this is you place your hand directly under the center point of where this awl or scratch awl is going to come through. And you push down very carefully, because I don't want to push the foam we have off the panel. It shouldn't, but I don't want any chance of it coming loose. And we gently push it through, feeling where it's coming through and not jabbing it into our hand. Haha. There we go. So there we have our center point. I'll turn this around to you so you can see. That's garbage. Put it over there so I can move it later. And what we have here is our door handle. This piece of trim, I don't know where it came off on the inside, but we're going to place this right here along this seam between the red and the black. It's going to sit like that, and obviously you can see it's way too long. So I'm going to have to rework the end. Same as that one over there. And this one here will cover up this seam like that. The holes have been pre-drilled in the panels much earlier, got all that prepared, And now what we really have to do is trim up that and then stab them through, roll this over. I need to find out exactly where those holes are. As soon as I get the first hole through, it'll start locating me for the other ones. And I gotta make sure these are straight because I don't want it to push one way or the other. Now, one thing that might help us is rolling this over yet again and doing the same little trick. I just want an indication. That. We're not going to push it through all the way because I just need to, something's not right here. We need to move over one more. Right there. You'd think you'd be able to feel it, but when you have so many coming through at the same time, a little bit challenging. There we go. To push it through. So that's basically where it's going to be. The knob goes there. And we need to take and trim up the end. I'm going to make it a little bit long and indicate a little bend line where I want the end to roll down, because being that this is longer than it should be, if we just cut it off, we'll have a raw hole into the end. You see the way they wrap their end around nice? We have to do the same thing. So let's cut this and form it. Now while I'm at it, this has been pushed through already. Do the same thing over here. Bend. There. Now we got to pop this one off. Okay, let's cut this. No, I should label it. No, they are labeled. See, passenger side. Okay. Now I need to find a dolly that will help us roll the end. Don't know if this will work. Yeah. So I have a sharp edge on one side, a radius edge on the other. I'll show you. This is just a dolly I made up years ago for, I think, making taillight rings. Works for headlight rings as well when you French headlight rings. So, and it's tapered, so you got a wider end on one, narrow at the other. So I'm going to use the narrow end because it has a sharp corner here. It'll allow me to roll that sheet metal, stainless steel, over the end, closing it in, and then we can polish it up and make it look factory. That's the beauty about stainless. You can work it, you can file it. If it was plastic molding, not so good. So there we go. It's not 100% stainless because we do have a backer in here, so that made it a little more challenging. So I'm just going to take some 120 and sand out the stainless. We don't want to take off too much. Because it's quite thin actually. Just knocking off the high spots with the file. Not taking very much off, just caressing it. See, we're not totally reconditioning the inside of this car with all the trim. There is some pitting and scratches. We're leaving that. But with this car here, we're just making it look like a Survivor. Not a brand new car. Because it would take a lot longer than a year to do something like that. It's a polishing compound and bring it up. I could use a machine, but a little bit of elbow grease. I'll show you something. I have a scratch here in the end that no matter how much you polish with this stuff, you'll never get it out. That's why it's important to make sure they're all gone in the early stages. All right, good for now. Oh wow, look at that. I'm sure you guys can see the horizontal. It could be from the file, it could be from the 120, I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to take and touch that up a little bit. You can see the shine is really coming out. So give me a few minutes, I'll take care of this one, get the other one bent, and then we can install them. Okay, got a little hammer here, and passenger side, this is the driver's side, this passenger side here. It's dirt. Now somewhere here, oh yeah, for some reason, one hole didn't come right through. I just think the drill bit didn't plunge down far enough. I don't want to go too far. Come on. That might have been a mistake right there. Nope. Got lucky. Sometimes if you plunge through with a drill bit, I got my nail, but if you plunge through, it'll grab the material and spin around. Look, I broke a nail. Ugh. These aren't just for metal. You can do a manicure with them. Yeah. Good as new. Okay, let's get back onto that. I don't want to pull him back into the quick. That would really give me a bad day. Okay. I'm piercing through the foam, which you don't think would be too difficult. There we go. That's a good sound. You hear that? Got to find out which way this one's going to go. I think that way. Yes, sir. Same as this one. Just feel the tip. Wow. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Nice, nice. I think I've said it before, but I've always wondered how the factory does it so well. Okay. If I can push this through, I can roll this over. Like that. And tap it back in. See how that looks. It's pressing in quite nicely, and I think the center can come down a little bit more, like that. When this all gets warmed up in the car, in the hot car, everything's gonna settle in. We've got a couple little wrinkles there. That'll all get taken care of. Okay, that's the first piece of trim on. The ends rounded and nice. That's pressed in. We have our handle. Oops, don't go that way. We have our handle. So we have a beginning, and the end will be in the back door. One of those panels there. Okay, now for the curved piece. And then after this curved piece, there's actually one more piece that I'm planning for, but see, this one didn't drill all the way through. Let's see if I can break another nail. I think there's one in the middle. Nope, nothing in the middle. Okay. See, these were done earlier, tops radiused. I should touch that up a little bit. They were much longer. I've repositioned this chrome, well, I've explained in the video, but I like lines that are continuous off the dash and then flow through. Just gonna roll this thing over, squeeze it down, and hammer it home. Okay, that is done. Check it out. With the handle there, it's going to look really nice. We're going to have an armrest that has to be upholstered yet. So there's a bunch of holes in the back here that are made but not through the material. Up here, I've been debating whether or not, that's why I want to install it in the car, to run one additional piece of chrome. I need to tap that down a bit more. Like that. We've got the turquoise blue dash pad that has a thickness to it. And some are up in here. I was planning, this is the trim off the side of the car, some of it. We don't have all of it, that's why we deleted it. And to find more of this stuff is, you know, forget it. So I was thinking, these have snap-in clips to drill. These are pretty rusty, so we'll get fresh ones. But to drill holes in the metal section that's up here. These door panels are comprised of two parts, masonite and a metal piece. Drill holes, once this is aligned with the dash, and add one more piece of trim, because underneath the dash, there's another piece, well, two sections of trim that kind of conceal all the fasteners. And to continue that chrome line, trim line, all the way around and into through the doors and into the back panel. So that might be one more piece there. And I know the dash is turquoise. I didn't have the heart to re-dye it, repaint it. It's an original surviving piece of that car. Being turquoise, leave it alone. Just continue the chrome right through into the door. But this can't be done until the doors are installed. We have little springs and little washers for the door handles, so that's all gonna sit in there like that later on. This door panel, for now, is done. When I always talk about getting to stuff later, that's the reason why. We can't do everything at once and do a complete episode unless you tune in next year type of thing. But all right, so there we have it. Passenger side door panel complete. Like the handle, where to go? This one here. We'll line up right there. So we're all set. We're gonna put these aside. We still have a little bit of work to do yet on the doors. Finalize them on the inside, and then we can get these mocked up. Yeah.